Hey everybody, hope you're doing great. Today's May 25th, and really don't have a lot going on in the yard today, but I'm off, so I want to do a quick yard update. So, stepping out here, hopefully you can kind of see what's going on. We're just coming off some really good rainfall here in northeast Georgia. I'm in Gainesville, and I think a lot of the Atlanta and metro areas got some good rain. It is sprinkling right now, actually. So, after a long dry spell, you can see behind me the Bermuda is finally starting to come into its own. Got to get out here a couple times a week and mow it down at around 1.5 to 2 inches. The fescue is kind of the struggle part of the yard this time of year. Let me show you a couple of the areas on the fescue that really are starting to show the signs of heat and stress here in Georgia. All right, so you can see overall it doesn't look too bad. I want to show you these areas. This area is an area I really struggle with. I get a lot of drainage and runoff from the slope in the backyard, and you start to see a lot of these kind of brownish, dead looking spots. That is not from disease, that is not from insect. I want to show you a really good one that's right here in the middle. If you've ever watched my videos, what this is actually Poa trivialis. So Poa trivialis really checks out during the heat, and that's exactly why people hate it in their yards. If you keep it well irrigated, it can kind of live through the summers and the heat, but it really starts to check out here in North Georgia. Alright, so here's that number one trouble spot in the yard. I think I've shown this a few times. Probably going to be a little project in itself. I've got some pretty bad erosion issues right here, but I think I can actually get these areas leveled up this spring. We'll have to either bring in some topsoil or actually just bring in some sod to try to fill in. You can kind of see it hopefully on camera where the wash from the driveway kind of just runs right down this area and then runs right into that creek and then the drainage over there. So this is definitely a little area that's going to have to be a little project in the upcoming fall when I do some work on the fescue and the overseed and all that stuff. Alright, just want to kind of show you what the backyard's looking like. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on one of my videos, maybe a short video, but this backyard is a fescue. I call it fescue. It's a mixture, actually. It's Jonathan Green, Shady Nook, grass seed. So it's a mixture of tall fescues and fine fescues, or I believe like a creeping type fescue. So the reason it is because of all of that shade. So unfortunately, I think the tall fescue does okay in the Georgia heat, but the fine fescues really seem to struggle when we get those humid, hot Georgia temperatures. So you can see combination of the shade and the temperatures, and of course the general lack of rain. I'm already starting to get some areas of this backyard to check out. Last year was the first year that I had a lawn established up here. It was previously just dirt and junk, and the lawn looked pretty good through about July. It started checking out, and then pretty much all of this area in the middle that just gets the extreme shade turned back into dirt, and then we were able to bring it back with a fall overseeding. We'll see. I really hope that at the very least, even if we get some dormancy during the extreme heat of the summer, I'm hoping at the very least that this keeps a little bit of cover on it and doesn't go completely back to dirt. We'll see. I will say this side right here above this wall is kind of unique in that the way the tree canopy goes, somehow it gets a little bit more sun kind of coming down during certain parts of the day. So what I'm noticing is that this part of the yard seems to be getting smoked out, maybe by the sun and the heat. So I'm going to kind of try to take a little different approach this fall when I do my overseed and do the shady nook seed and that that dense shade type of a seed, mostly in kind of the areas that are getting closer to the tree canopy. And then these areas that are down here above this wall, right below the wall, above the wall on this side, some of this area that I plan to turn into lawn, they get a little bit more sun, so I'm going to try a different kind of seed. Not sure yet on that, but I really like, there's a Texas bluegrass style or Texas heat I think I've seen. Really would kind of be interested to see how that does here in northeast Georgia. Also like the fact that if I could get a little bit of bluegrass established in some of these sunnier areas, then I would get a little bit of that self-repair properties that Bermuda has. Kind of help it, coming out of the summer into the fall. So still staying green, but trying to check out with that heat. So all right, pretty stoked about these. Newest edition. If you shop at Costco, I think $36. Picked up these really nice painted metal pink flamingos. I think they really set off the front yard nicely. Alright, it's time for the part of the yard that's actually starting to look good. Getting ready for Memorial Day weekend. Got the hedges trimmed, cleaned up. The Bermuda is looking pretty good. I have not done any post-emergent weed control on it, but I will show you up close that we do have some kind of small weeds. I don't know what this kind of grass is here, but I've got to try to take care of that. Some little broadleaf weeds. Still some, you can see the seed heads from the Poa annua. There's still some of that hanging on with the cooler temps. A lot of seed heads in the Bermuda. Makes me think maybe this was seeded a long time ago. It's just common Bermuda. As you can see, overall the Bermuda is looking pretty darn good. There's a couple of areas that are still trying to fill in, but overall I'm really happy with how the Bermuda is finally starting to take off. Close of some areas you might see in your lawn looking pretty similar since the green up and the weather's been a little off. The rain hasn't been here. Still got a few thin spots around in the yard, but not too worried about it. I can see if you look down in these thin spots, you can see as long as you got some of these little runners, or they call them stolons, then you should be in pretty good shape. So looks like the Bermuda's doing just fine. Couple weeks from now, most likely you won't even be able to see that thin spot's there. Alright, well, thanks for watching. No projects today, just kind of a walk around showing you what's going on with the yard and what can you expect out of a common Bermuda lawn in northeast Georgia with all these crazy temps and lack of rain. And then what does a fescue yard look like in northeast Georgia down here, kind of on the bottom end of the transition zone, or really an area where cool season grass doesn't do that well. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll have some good projects and stuff going on in the next video.